so Retribution comes out, right? Which to me now is very. So what? Let me ask you a question. Maybe I'm missing some of the stuff on this. Why is Retribution like okay? They're like the opener of the show. Have we kind of like have they been in the ring? They've been cutting promos in the back, like in an area and stuff like them. But now they get like the open of the show,
right?
All right, so that's like kind of the way they've been portrayed. It's a very weird dive into logic here, how they can, All right, so now that's the thing, they do these angles and the screws are loose on them. They're not like the details are very, very weird. Okay, so first, so they're all so here are the guys, all right? Dominic Dijakovic, okay, good. Mia Yim, who threw shade at me on Twitter, okay.
Right.
Dio Madden used to be like an announcer, but he's also a wrestler.
Okay.
Mercedes Martinez.
What did she throw shade at you for?
Remember when we talked about this? I think we talked about this a couple weeks ago. Yeah. Remember when the spot when the two girls that we showed on this where they were trying to do like the lucha spot where the one girl's on top, standing on top of the ropes, the other girl standing on the top of the ropes facing her, and the one facing her jumps up to give her the Frankensteiner into the ring. Okay. And remember the girls tried to do that, and the one girl couldn't hold the other girl, and she slipped and pile drive the girl. The girl like landed straight in her neck and like that. And I tweeted out, when the girls try to do the moves that the boys do,
right?
You shouldn't be doing stuff like that. That takes a high degree of difficulty if you can't do because you might break your neck. And she threw shade at me on Twitter for saying that.
What did she say?
Something just. Do you remember, Joe?
Yeah, I'll get it.
Try to find it. Try to finish. But she threw shade at me on Twitter.
All right.
And they got another guy in there too. But honestly, their look that they had this week with the mask, kind of like Bane on Batman and stuff, looked way better.
Oh, it's a rip. It's not just like it. It almost is.
It's a total ripoff, but it makes them look more imposing and impressive than before when they were just coming out with black masks on and just all dressed in black and looked like kids.
It's almost like it was almost like a collab of like Mad Max, The Purge and Bane,
right? And it wasn't honestly, that look is not bad. If you want them to look more menacing and like, okay, these people look like pretty badass or something, So
I don't know how familiar, because I don't know who Madden is, but I do know Dijak, or what do they call him now, Dijakovic. They changed his name again to whatever T-Bar.
Yeah, Madden is a guy that was trained by Booker like around 3, but he's only been in the business for like 3 years.
Yeah.
So he's still green for that spot. I actually, I think for a while he was like a commentator on NXT, but he's such a big guy, bro. And I remember when I was reading his bio, he said something like, and you'll like this one, DI, he's into like video games, anime, and manga. Okay, so he'd fit right in
AEW. He fit right in an Antifa gimmick.
Yeah, but I just want to say Dijak, you'll see if you guys aren't familiar with him, he's really good. So
we've seen Dijak. Okay, so basically they said that they have contracts now.
Right.
Like, all right, so isn't that weird? You do something like immediately like that. Okay, they contracted the people that literally did probably like maybe $150,000 worth of damage to their video, their
in
equipment.
The ring and
right. And here's the other thing: the commentator actually said this. And now they can do whatever they want. So can everybody else do what they want, or did they have that specially in their contract? I mean, that made no sense.
Yeah, it should have been. Go ahead.
It's almost like a part where Mia Yim goes, the fighting continues because WWE and its superstars are motivated by money. Then what are you, wrestling for free?
Yeah, right.
What is the logic here?
Yeah. I don't know. It's just where they had an idea. And they kept each week kind of like continuing in that, and they said, "Okay, let's just make them part of the roster." Now they're going to be doing stuff like this. But
what a skip and a jump, because normally whenever when they do a lot of invasion angles, a lot of companies do them. These guys usually have to win their contracts, right? Wouldn't that be the next step in the match? Hey, Retribution's fighting for a contract. Don't just give it to them.
I'll give you a better idea. I'll give you a better idea, because I just felt that after all this buildup of weeks of attacking Raw Underground and wrestlers backstage, and I just felt felt very minor league. Not only that, if you remember at the beginning, it was like a bunch of kids. Where'd they find these big guys from? But anyways,
well, here's the thing.
This is what I would have done.
Let me finish because we got to talk about what happened. So then, So of course the Hurt Business comes out. They're not going to back. They want a piece of these guys.
But I don't.
Right?
That's another thing I don't understand. Why aren't they fighting baby faces? Why are they fighting heels?
Bro,
because the Hurt Business is also in an angle with baby faces.
Because the wrestling fans today don't really look at the professional wrestling business as like they care if there are heels versus baby faces.
Right.
The wrestling business is just giving up on trying to establish a lot of heel baby face dynamics. What they're trying to do here is they're trying to make the Hurt Business stick to their characters. Okay, the Hurt Business are heels, but if an outside entity is coming into their place of work and trying to like these guys are not going to be scared because they're like badasses, right? So like I can see the logic in them, like they'd want to fight. They'd be very willing to fight these guys, but they're still heels to the rest of the roster. So it's like, but you're creating this weird thing.
You couldn't find some baby faces to do that with?
You're doing the problem is you're making your top heel, your top baby faces at the same time.
Right.
So then like, where's the money in that? Like, it's very,
let me tell you this story that's very weird that you don't even know about. When I first broke into Mexico, one of the biggest names, I don't know if you've ever heard of this guy. His name is Connect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
have you ever heard of him?
Yeah, Mel Connect, the brain, right? What does Connect mean? What does Connect mean?
No, Connect is like a chief of like a Mayan tribe in Mexico.
I knew him, but he was a bigger guy,
right?
Yeah.
But like just so you know, he beat Hogan, he beat Fujinami, he beat Tez, he beat Andre the Giant. Anybody that came to Mexico that was a foreigner, he beat.
Yeah.
Okay. So when the foreigners wouldn't come in, I would wrestle him. Okay. But what this guy would do is when he would wrestle me, he was a heel, but he was always getting cheered. And I was like, how the f is it this guy's getting cheered against me? And I'm the baby face. Well, this is what he would do. When they would send me home and they bring in Big Van Vader, he turned baby face. So here he was as a baby face with the Mexican flag representing all the Mexicans beating the foreigners. And then when I came back, he turned back heel. And I was like, what the f is going on here? Why are you guys doing this? You know what I'm saying? But it's almost the same thing.
Right. So the Hurt Business attacks them, or it doesn't attack them. They powder, and then they get surrounded. Right, bro. This is the thing. Like, and we talked about this on last week's show. Go back and watch the NWO, the End of Nitros from like 1996 and 1997, and watch the beatdowns, bro. The guys in the ring that are supposed to be beating people down are literally trying to shove people out of the way to get their shit in. Like, right. It looks like, bro, these guys look like they don't want to beat the guys down. They'd rather just walk around the ring and go, yeah, like, and stuff and say, right. Bro, they got like the beatdown.
You know what I call it? I call it a wrestling beatdown, and that's actually what it is. And it's not physical enough, especially taking into account who it involved. You know what I mean? Lashley, Shelton, and MVP. Bro, you got to bring it to them, and they should also bring it to these other guys, which they didn't.
This should look like, okay, and like maybe they don't want this visual. All right, this should look like a scene from Police Brutality. You got like all these guys dressed up like SWAT team guys, bro. They should be beating these guys' asses like 5-on-1 on each guy. That's what the visual picture should look like. If you want to get these guys some heat, but it's just like a few guys will kick and then a couple guys will kick, but it's never like just like a violent beatdown on each guy, which they don't do. And it's like it's weird, bro. You know what? I'm telling you, the Hurt Business. These guys are, MVP's a veteran and stuff and all that, bro. These guys. They're taking the beating. There's lying there. I would just keep trying to get, because Steve Austin did this a lot, right? He would make you beat him down. Right. Like you had to work to beat him down. If you beat him down, he'd keep trying to come back up, and he keep trying to come in, and finally you have to work hard because Jesus, this guy keeps coming. I got to keep kicking his ass. They should be doing that with this, and like they didn't. They're laying there accepting a beating that does not look very good, and it's not their fault. But, like, they need to get their shit in going forward. If these guys are going to do weak beatdowns on them, they need to fight back more and make these guys beat them down. You know?
Right. That's not only that, bro. Like I said before, in the messenger, they're saying, oh, you're here for the money. You know, like I said, well, what are you wrestling here free? And they're also saying that they were held back. And I'm thinking to myself, so that's your reason for being mad? How can you claim that you were held back when Dijakovic, Maya Yim and Mia Yim and Mercedes were all featured prominently on NXT. Yeah. Bro, what I would have done is I would have had like a real retribution, like for example, guys that maybe were wronged in the past, Ryback, Punk, maybe
Enzo.
ADR,
What about
Can
Enzo?
you imagine Enzo, the type of heat that they would have gotten if they came back and said, you f***ed us over and we're back? You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
I think that would have been even better.
Well, this is the thing, because ultimately you booked a beatdown of 20 guys on 4 guys, and the 4 guys you beat down weren't even done on the show yet. All right, so that's what you got. Just like they came back later. It was like, it's like
and they were beating you down, right?
Yeah, about that, right? It's like, oh my god.